Hello everyone, my name is Rahul Paikar and today I will be talking a little bit about cryptos, right? So let's get on with it. First of all, this is the list of the top 10 coins in today's market by their market capitalization, right? It means that the first one, Bitcoin, stands at a market capitalization of $787 billion. It means that out of in today's time, the whole market cap of all the cryptos combined stands at about $2 trillion, and out of that, almost 800 billion is contributed solely by Bitcoin alone, right? And then the second one is Ethereum, third is Tether or USDT. The BTC or the ETH, USDT, then BNB, these short forms are called their ticker names, right? And Tether is basically $1. It is pegged against one US dollar. So one Tether, one USDT equals one US dollar, right? And then we have BNB, that is Binance coin, right? Then USDC, that is again pegged against $1, right? So what is the difference between these $2, USDT and USDC? Is that Tether is a company that has launched this one coin, and the other one, USD coin or USDC, is launched by Coinbase, that is a listed company in the US, right? And then we have other coins like Cardano, Solana, Ripple, Terra, and Polkadot. What is common among seven of these coins is that Bitcoin is like the digital gold, right? It is the gold amongst all the crypto coins or cryptocurrencies. So it just sits there because it was the first one to come up in the market. So it just sits there with a dominance, with about 40% dominance in the market. But others have to work really hard to come this far. Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, Solana, Ripple, Terra, and Polkadot. All of these seven coins, they have their own blockchains, they have their own network, wherein other applications and projects can come and build their own projects and networks and dApps, right? dApps stands for decentralized applications, right? And the other two, Tether and USD, they are nothing but digital dollars, you can say, right? So what happens is, if a company wants to issue a new coin that is pegged against a dollar, then they need to have same amount of actual US dollars in their reserves, right? So it makes for easier transactions on the exchanges where people or users or consumers or investors can buy these other seven cryptocurrencies with Tether and USDC. Like Coinbase, on their own platform, on their own exchange, in their own wallet, they offer users to purchase these other cryptocurrencies in exchange for USDC. And USDT is widely used in all other platforms such as Binance, WazirX, CoinDCX, FTX, and almost every other exchange there is, right? Now, what is basically that is being built? What is blockchain? What is smart contracts? And what is DeFi, GameFi, NFT, and Metaverse? What is all the craze about right now, right? So, blockchain is comparable to the captain of the ship, right? If there is no captain, the ship will go nowhere, right? And then to run the other functions of the whole ship, there is a ship crew, right? It is built by many people, sometimes 15, 20, or 30 people are working in the ship crew, right, to make the ship run, right? They are working under the command of the captain. In the same way here, the smart contracts are built upon the certain blockchain, right? There can be one blockchain, right? And there can be many smart chains working upon one blockchain, right? And these smart contracts, what are they used for? They are used for running, developing, or launching different kind of DeFi, that is decentralized finance dApps, GameFi, that is gaming plus finance, and then NFT, that is non-fungible tokens, and then the last one, that the hype we are seeing right now for is the metaverse, right? So all this DeFi, GameFi, NFT, Metaverse, they are all working. How are they working? Because they are totally independent. Nobody can go into these games and change anything right now because they are built on smart contracts. Smart contracts are immutable codes that once written and once executed, they cannot be changed. So it takes a lot of time for developers to work on the smart contracts and build an application on a blockchain, right? Now, where can you buy these coins or tokens or cryptocurrencies, right? For example, in India, we have BSE and NSE, right? These are the centralized exchanges of India. In the same way, we can go and buy shares of listed companies on these two in India, right? But where do we go to buy the cryptocurrencies? We go to the websites of exchanges that are built specially for cryptos. That is FTX, Binance, Coinbase, CoinSwitchCubate, WazirX, CoinDCX. This is just to name a few, and there are hundreds and hundreds of these exchanges because they are not properly or 100% regulated by any government body or any regulatory body, right? That is why they all need to work on their platforms. They all need to make themselves known in the markets as they require to attract their consumers solely on what features they are giving to the users, what kind of security they have there on our platform, how secure they can make their platform from hacks. Because yes, these exchanges are susceptible to hackers, right? Now, when we come to proof of work and proof of stake, what are these? These are the ways cryptocurrencies work, right? First of all, let's see what is proof of work. Proof of work is defining an expensive computer calculation called mining blocks. Where it is used? It is used in the mining of BTC or Bitcoin. We see that in order to verify a transaction on the BTC blockchain, that runs on the algorithm SHA-256, a computer needs to be there to perform an huge calculation in order to verify if the transaction is a valid one or is it a fraudulent one, right? So there should be a strong CPU, a strong GPU to do that calculation and verify the transaction, and in doing so the transaction of BTC from one wallet to another wallet can be made, right? Wherein in proof of stake, there is no need of this calculation or the processing power. So it is much more energy friendly, environmental friendly, right? In proof of stake, a holder of a certain cryptocurrency can simply deposit, or the term here that we use is stake. They can stake a number of their own coin in the network, right? And the network, the smart contract behind the network, chooses a person, a holder, randomly to validate and verify a certain transaction, and they get rewarded for a portion of the transaction fees, right? So in this way, what is the difference that we see between a bank and a blockchain is that in a bank, I will actually come later on and explain that also. What is the difference between a bank and a blockchain? Why are all the banks against cryptocurrencies, right? We will see into that a little bit later, right? So right now we have got to know what is proof of work and proof of stake, right? Right now it takes a lot of energy, a lot of electricity to mine BTC, and that is why a lot of countries are against mining of BTC. A lot of them have also banned mining of cryptocurrency. They have not banned like trading or holding or acquiring BTC or acquiring any cryptocurrencies, but they have banned the mining of the certain BTC, certain cryptos or BTC in particular, because it requires a lot of energy, and they think that that energy, that electricity, could be put to better use somewhere else, right? So in proof of stakes, actually, the second largest coin by market capitalization, that is Ethereum or ETH, is coming up with a proof of stake. It's shifting from proof of work to proof of stake shortly, and hopefully within this year it will be done. Right? Why are they doing so? Because they want them to be eco-friendly. They want more adaptation for their ETH. Ethereum is actually developed by the Ethereum Foundation, right? It was founded by Vitalik Buterin when I think he was 19 years old, right? So right now he is also working. He's a developer who is very forward in this matter and working hard to bring Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake, right? So, in proof of work, when a person verifies by doing very difficult calculations on their CPU or GPU, they are rewarded for creating a block. And what is a block? A block is basically a heap or a group of transactions put together. When a block is created, it means that a lot of transactions have been verified by one miner or one mining computer, and a block has been created. And in doing so, that CPU or that miner is rewarded some part of the cryptocurrency, right? In that way, cryptocurrency or Bitcoin in particular comes into circulation. A total of 20 million BTCs will ever exist, right? And right now there is 18 million, about 18 million BTCs in circulation. How will the rest of the 2 million come into circulation? This is how, by mining. A lot of people mine. What they do is they help verify and keep the network secure, and in return they get paid in BTC itself, and that is how new BTC is born, or they are brought into the circulation. And as it reaches towards 20 million, it will get harder and harder to solve the math problems behind proof of work algorithm, right? That is why other coins do not adopt or are not going for proof of work but for proof of stake, where so much energy is not needed, and they also motivate people to hold their cryptocurrencies and stake it into the network so they can get some handsome rewards, right? It also says that if somebody in a POS network needs to or wants to manipulate or approve or verify a fraudulent transaction, then they would need to own a majority of the staked Ethereum or any token, right? Let's take for example Ethereum. They need to own about 51% or a majority of the Ethereum that is staked into the ETH network, right? So if Ethereum currently has a market capitalization of $361 billion, for making any malicious or fraudulent transactions, one person or one entity has to hold about $180.5 billion worth of Ethereum staked into the network. It is theoretically possible, but nobody is going to do it because of the financial cost, right? So next, of course, we can see that there is a lot of, we always hear there is a lot of volatility in the crypto market. Of course, in the share market also there is a lot of volatility sometimes, but in crypto there is more volatility due to the fact that people from all around the world come in to participate in the buying and selling of cryptocurrencies, whereas in share market it opens at 9:30 and closes at 3:15, and that's it. Almost 6 hours of market running goes on, and then it is closed, and then the next day comes on, right? Saturday Sunday it is closed. But crypto market, it runs 24/7. Someone in US is buying when we are sleeping, when we are buying they are sleeping, so it goes on all the time, right? We can see in Bitcoin itself, right? It is the most prized, it is the costliest cryptocurrency that is known, right? There are some coins which are even costlier than BTC, like YFII, that is Yearn Finance, right? It costs, I think, over around 90k dollars, right? But let's about talk about BTC right now. BTC made a all-time high on 9th of November 2021 at $69,000, right? And then it quickly lost 66% of its worth by 24th of Jan 2022, right? So if someone had bought 1,000 rupees worth of, or $1,000 worth of Bitcoin in on 9th of November, right now or right at 24th of January, they will be only left with how much? 333 dollars, right? So it came down to that low. Now again, in the 2 weeks that we have seen, it came back up from 33k to $41,000, which is a recovery of 30%. So this is the volatility. It can be treated as a very risky or a very volatile asset class, right? Where share market, we see that some go up and down. Like recently, Facebook just took a dump of 20%, right? Others, Google took a jump of about 20% itself, right? So some go down and some go up, right? It happens. But in crypto, it happens a lot more because the participants here are more. It is open 24/7 throughout the week, right? That is the reason behind the insane volatility in crypto market, right? Then again, we have two concepts, right? Centralized finance, and then there is decentralized finance. In centralized finance, we are talking about banks, right? What do? They authenticate the normal fiat currency transaction. Fiat currency is to say INR, USDT, GBP, euro, US dollars, Canadian dollars, right? These are the fiat currencies that are issued by the central banks of the nations, right? Banks help us move a certain amount of fiat currency from one account to another account, and in doing so they charge us a transaction fee, and that is their source of revenue, right? In decentralized finance, blockchains do this work instead of the banks. The middle party is not required. Blockchains do this instead of the banks, and the blockchains depend on miners or stakers to approve these transactions for doing, so they get rewarded, right? In bank, A sends B $10, and the bank takes $1 from the A party, right? So only $9 reaches the B party. In decentralized finance, I send $10 worth of any cryptocurrency to B. He will, maybe he, if he receives $9 worth of crypto, the $1 does not go to a bank, it goes to a person who is working or who has staked a amount in the blockchain to secure it and to approve these transactions, right? And then the next question comes to mind: why banks and governments are so against mass crypto adoption, right? That is because people shifting to DeFi, that is decentralized finance, will cause banks to lose business, and that is why they were initially against crypto adoption during 2017 and 19. But now they have realized that crypto is here to stay, and now they are coming up with their own programs and business ideas, and how to implement and integrate those ideas in their own platform so they can earn some revenue, and they can also have a presence in the blockchain community or technology, right? Right now, crypto companies like Paxos and Ripple are working with other corporates to help bring decentralized finance or some kind of financial services at lower or cheaper cost, right, to financial corporates, right? Now here, this is Mr. Jamie Dimon. He is the CEO of JP Morgan Bank, right? It is one of the mm, biggest banks in the world, right? He has been always looking down on cryptos. Even in 2014 he said that it is a terrible value of store. 2015 he said it will not survive, bitcoin is going nowhere, right? And then what happened? It took a it just went up, it just rocketed up to, it just went to the moon, right? Then I think I regret making that comment, he said in 2018 finally, when it came up to about $20,000, right? And now it is almost went to $70,000 in 21, right? And now it is back at 22 at current date, right? So this is what happens when a new technology comes into the market. A lot of people rush towards it, but some people will be there who are against it, who think that there are some cons to the technology, right? There are some reasons why it won't survive, or maybe they are just afraid that it will overtake their own business ideas, or they will overtake their own business, right? That's why I do not want people to adopt or move towards it quickly, or they do not want to comment in favor of these, right? But once in the heart they are all businessmen, and in the end they just want capital appreciation, they just want to maintain their business and grow their business, right? So as soon as they come up with their own ideas how to integrate and implement these kind of technologies in their own businesses, right, they start to move forward in favor of these, right? In JP Morgan in 2022, they said that 22 could be the year of the blockchain, right? In 2015, 2017, they were all but against, all in, they were all but in favor of cryptos. Now they are saying that JP Morgan predicts Bitcoin to reach $146,000 in the long run, right? But once there was a time when Jamie Dimon just continued throwing shade on crypto. He just said that JP Morgan Chase and other banks have been providing access to crypto funds for their wealth management customers, right? There was one time when they said it is trash, it is a scam, it is a bubble, it will burst and people will lose money. And now the same conglomerate, same bank is telling their customers, their investors, right, that cryptocurrency is a must for your portfolio, right? This is how times change, and the person or the people who get on the train in the beginning make a huge amount of money, as many people around the world have with cryptocurrencies, right? Why is BTC mining banned in some countries? Crypto mining consumes more electricity in a year than the annual consumption of a country like Finland. That is why. Bitcoin mining consumes around 91 terawatt hours of electricity annually, and it is more than 7 times the electricity used by all of Google's global operations. This is how much electricity is required for mining BTC alone. And this is the reason why countries such as China, Savo and Iran has banned mining BTC, because it is not environmental friendly. It requires a lot of energy. And right now 18 million out of 20 million of BTC are in circulation. And when this gap seems to be closing, or this gap comes even closer, it will get harder and harder to mine these BTCs, and the calculation required will get harder, and in doing so the electricity consumption, energy consumption will also go up, right? Why is that done, by the way? Because it is planned in a way so that all the BTCs are not mined or brought into circulation instantly, so that it takes time. That is how the smart contract of BTC was programmed, right? So here are two lists of countries with absolute bans and countries where Bitcoin is legal, right? As an asset which you can trade, you can hold, you can sell, or you can buy, right? In absolute bans, we have Algeria, Bangladesh, China, Egypt, Iraq, Morocco, Nepal, Qatar, and Tunisia, right? Why have they banned cryptos? Because they think it will undermine their own legal tender, right? All of these countries are not very big economies in the world. Their own centralized or legal tender currency is pegged against a dollar, and they do not maintain 1:1 ratio, just like India. $1 is not 1 INR. $1 is actually 76 INR, right? And as the years go by, this gap will increase, right? 10, 20, 15 years ago, this gap was $1 equals to 40 rupees. Now it is $1 equals to 76 rupees. In the future, after 10 years, this will be $1 equals to 90 rupees, 100 rupees, right? This gap will keep increasing. And these countries, the government of these countries do not want people to buy and hold or do settlements and transactions in cryptocurrencies, so that they keep using their own currencies, and their own currencies do not lose value in the forex market, right? Anything that is not used becomes obsolete, it loses its value. That is what these countries that have proposed, or they have put an absolute ban on cryptocurrencies, do not want, right? Whereas the different bigger countries, right, they have huge economies, right? US, Canada, Australia, European Union, Denmark, France, Spain, Mexico, Japan, and then United Kingdom, right? Even Iceland, right? Germany. These are huge economies, right? They do not fear that adoption or letting their citizens transact and buy and sell and trade the cryptocurrency will do much harm to their own centralized currency. That is why they let them buy these, they let them trade them, they let them even pay some companies or some products against Bitcoin, right? Like Tesla, Microsoft, they take payments in Bitcoin nowadays, right? The only country in the world that has recognized BTC as legal tender, it is El Salvador. It is a very small nation, right? Uh, has a small population of almost 65 lakh people, right? In 2020, right? And since September 7 of 2021, they have recognized BTC as legal tender. Why is that? Because before that, they only had US dollars. They used US dollars. They do not even have their own currency, right? They used US dollars. Right now, they are moving in support of BTC because they think it holds a lot of value. But while when they bought it in September, the price was above 50K, right? And now it is down to 41K. So it means that even the government of El Salvador has lost a lot of worth in holding the BTC, right? But it will certainly come up back, right? It will even cross 70K at one time, right? So it is looking forward to that time, and it is just holding the cryptocurrency for BTC for now, right? Now, what other questions remains, right? Why central banks tend to propose a ban on cryptocurrencies? Same reason I told you before, because central banks are afraid that people will take money out of their own country's share market, stock market, and they will invest that money into the crypto market, right? They do not want to lose money from their stock market. Then they do not want the adoption to be rapid, as they do not want to lose value of their own centralized currency. Like RBI in 2018, they proposed that, or they actually directed all the banks in India to not do any financial transactions with any of the organizations or companies related to cryptocurrencies. And in 2018 only, after this direction came from the RBI, Bitcoin was at 20K at that time, and it dropped down to a measly, I think, $7,000, right? Not even 7,000, because it even went down, that. at that time, right? So what RBI does is they keep scaring people that do not do this. They keep directing banks do not do any transaction with any cryptocurrency companies, right? But in again in 2019, direction or a Supreme Court order came down to make it a blanket ban. A blanket ban means complete ban on cryptocurrencies. No trading, no holding, right? No payments, nothing. No mention of cryptocurrency should be there in the nation, right? But they couldn't do that. They couldn't come up with a act or a legislation or a bill, and they had to take back their direction from the banks, and the banks started transacting with the cryptocurrency companies again, right? And the price went back up, right? The other question is, exchanges can be hacked and users might suffer irrecoverable losses of funds. Can they? Yes, they very well can, right? The exchanges that sell or let you trade cryptocurrencies are susceptible to hackers, right? And there is a chance that any cryptocurrency exchange that is not very well built or the infrastructure lacks in some way might get attacked, right, by hackers, and user funds can be stolen, right? It has happened a lot of times in the past. It keeps happening from time to time, right? The better projects, they are working to make a better exchange. They're working to solidify their securities even more, right? And sometimes what happens is, when exchange is hacked, the exchange itself pays back to the consumers for what they have lost. But sometimes some part of the hacked amount is also recovered, and sometimes it is not. So yes, it is risky, right? You can lose if your exchange gets attacked and hacked, right? But big exchanges like FTX and Coinbase, Binance, the popular ones, the huge ones, they have not been attacked in a long, long time, right? Because they have very, very matured securities, right? The other question remains, chances of crypto being allowed to become legal tender. It is very, very unlikely that any prominent or big economy will ever let the crypto, any BTC, ETH, BNB, Solana, anything, become legal tender, because they again do not want to lose face. They do not want to undermine their own legal tender, that is a centralized currency of their nation, right? They can let it be a asset class, right? Cryptocurrencies will survive as an asset class that people can trade in, right? They can purchase, they can keep, they can sell off, right? They can make profits and they can pay taxes, right? And next is, why the hype about blockchain, NFTs, etc., right? Of course, the hype of blockchain and NFTs, we can see nowadays everyone is talking about them, because blockchain, as I said before, smart blockchain works with smart contracts, and smart contracts are immutable. It means that a transaction written on it is stored permanently, that cannot be changed or tampered with in the future, right? So blockchain can be used for keeping records of property, land, anything, right? So if a person owns a piece of land and it is stored on the blockchain, then that information cannot be changed in the future. Property, of course, can be transferred from one person to another, but it cannot be changed. The details inside the previous transaction cannot be changed. Wherein, if something is kept in physical form, the name, the stamp, the signatures can be tampered with, right? A blockchain cannot be. Right. Same thing goes for NFT, non-fungible tokens. Non-fungible also means immutable, cannot be changed. There can be only one of that kind, right? So NFTs is majorly being used as digital art, right? People with a lot of money, they buy art worth millions of dollars, right? They just hang it in the on the wall, and it's worth millions and millions of dollars, because a painter was famous, because his story was famous, because his life was famous. And some people like me do not even understand these paintings, yet they are worth millions of dollars, right? In the same way, an NFT is one of a kind, and it cannot be replaced. So if I draw something digitally today, and I want it to mint into an NFT, then yes, I can mint it into NFT, and it will have a signature to it that cannot be copied, neither can be changed in the future. And if I own that NFT, that NFT will be stored on a blockchain such as Ethereum, Binance, Smart Chain, right? Solana. These blockchains have the capability to store NFTs on them, and this will belong to me and me only. Nobody can steal it, nobody can copy it, nobody can transfer it to their own wallets without me being known, right? So this is all about the hype behind the NFTs. They are also being sold for millions and millions of dollars. All famous peoples are getting in on it. They are purchasing thousands, hundreds and thousands worth of NFTs to use as their profile pic on Twitter, right? It's a huge craze that is going on right now, right? It is also being implemented in gamify, right? GameFi NFTs, right? In a normal game, we have some characters, some heroes, right? Some items that we hold in the game, a sword, a knife, a king, a warrior, some character, right? So if the game company, the game developing company can create those NFTs or mint them into NFTs, it means that if you have some kind of special sword in a game, right? So only you can have that sword, or if there only exists a collection of 10 such swords, then only 10 people in the entire world will ever own said sword, right? So that creates what? Low supply and high demand, and thus the price of the sword NFT will go up, right? That is what happening with major NFTs right now. That is Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? And then there is CryptoPunks, right? Worth millions and millions of dollars, right? And then in the end, what is the purpose of crypto? So in the end, we can come to a conclusion that cryptocurrency is basically going to be treated as an asset class, right? Just like gold and equities, right? Just like real estate, you can buy crypto, you can sell crypto for profit, you can incur losses in trading of crypto, right? And then the other things that are coming behind them is decentralized finance, NFTs, right? Different uses and applications of blockchain technology, right? These are coming behind crypto. Crypto was the first to come up, so it gained a lot of popularity, it gained a lot of worth right now, right? All the major cryptocurrencies that there are today, they have big huge projects, they have big backers and venture capital corporates behind them, backing them up, backing their projects, because they are building something that they think will be the future, that they think will contribute to web 3.0, right? And everyone in the IT sector believes that that is the future. It is the phase that we are in right now is what we had with internet back in 2001, 2000, 1999, right? Before 2000, everyone was saying nobody was going to use email because the emails kept jumping from one server to another server, and there was uncertainty that how many people are actually seeing my email before it reaches the recipient, right? But it was worked upon, it was made secure, and now email is one of the most important and primary way of communication, right? Officially and unofficially. In the same way, before 2020, cryptocurrency was looked down on the same way. It was treated as uncertainty, it was clouded with uncertainty, it was clouded with a lot of doubt and confusion, right? But now there are projects that are bringing honesty to it, that are bringing legitimate use case to it, so as to promote and make the consumers and users be certain that it is here to stay, and there is a lot of working going on, a lot of ideas behind these projects, right? That will bring easier or cheaper financial distribution, financial transaction capabilities, and other things into the market and into the world right now, right? So thank you for watching. I also have an extensive knowledge about mutual funds and how to invest, how to create a portfolio, how to gain from mutual funds, how to make or create wealth using mutual funds where you do not have to worry about the market volatility, right? If you want to know about that or even more about cryptocurrencies, feel free to reach out to me on LP Live or WhatsApp, right? Thank you very much.